All right, Detroit at Cincinnati. After Jahmyr Gibbs, Heath, rank the running backs and wide receivers in this game. Sorry, not St. Brown either.
Okay, so I will go Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, T. Higgins.
Oh, I forgot about him. Okay. Jamey, how about you?
Jamar Chase, skip a little bit. David Montgomery, skip a lot. Chase Brown, skip a little bit. T. Higgins.
And then Jamison Williams?
Skip a little bit more. Jamison Williams.
Okay, so you guys didn't quite agree.
You want Laporta too or no?
No, it's said running backs and wide receivers. You didn't quite agree there because Heath is higher on Brown than Montgomery. Jamey prefers Montgomery. Heath prefers J-Mo to Higgins. Jamey prefers Higgins to J-Mo. Minnesota at Cleveland. Over under 8 PPR fantasy points for Jordan Mason.
Over.
Under.
All right, Heath, 9 PPR fantasy points.
I'll go over.
15. No, 10.
Between 10 and 11.
Okay. Las Vegas is at the Colts. Are you more confident in Jacoby Myers or Daniel Jones?
That's a great question. More confident in Daniel Jones.
Okay. Jacoby Myers, I think, has a pretty good matchup. The Colts are missing their slot corner. They've struggled even before the Rams game. They struggled against slot receivers, and Myers has a career high slot rate so far this year. So we'll see. Washington.
It's not a negative on Myers, by the way.
Right. So you just are confident in Daniel Jones.
Yes. Back home.
Yeah. Washington's at the Chargers. Ladd McConkey or Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen.
Kansas City's at Jacksonville. Brenton Strange or Travis Kelce?
Kelce.
I have them very, very close. I will say Kelce by a hair.
I've mentioned 3 wide receivers so far: Jacoby Myers, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen. How many of those 3 would you start over Brian Thomas Jr.?
All
3.
New England's at Buffalo. Who's the best wide receiver in this game? And bonus question, would you start a Patriots running back?
Stephon Diggs, and no.
I think I have Keon Coleman the highest.
Interesting. Okay. You think this is going to be a competitive game, Patriots-Bills?
I do. I almost picked the Patriots to cover, but they send us the odds for our pick 'em page, expert picks, whatever they call it. The line changed, so we had it at 8.5, and then it dropped to 7.5.
Okay.
It's really, because one of the things that I track is like, in a certain way, pass versus run defense. And it's a really interesting matchup because the Bills have been so good against the pass and so bad against the run.
Yeah.
And the Patriots have been the opposite.
As an offense or as a defense?
Defense.
Right.
To be fair, after facing Lamar Jackson, they faced Justin Fields, who got banged up in the game, Tua Tagovailoa, and Spencer Rattler.
But they destroyed Justin Fields. He played most of that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but even so, like, to say, like, I wonder how legit their pass defense is when they face that group of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's interesting. The Bills are number 1 in time of possession. So they have, I believe, seen the fewest plays in the NFL, or maybe the second.
Well, and that's the other thing is, like, all the Bills want to do is run the football and control the clock. And that's the one thing that the Patriots defense has been really good at stopping.
Yeah. And I want to see if the Patriots are, and I mean pun intended here because it's Sunday night, if they're ready for prime time. It's be a big game. Dallas is at the Jets. Start or sit Dak Prescott?
Start.
Borderline start, but I am a little bit lower on him. I think it'll be interesting to see what the pass volume is and what the George Pickens, Sauce Gardner matchup's like.
Yeah, I don't think no quarterback has thrown more than 30 passes against the Jets, and Dak is regularly throwing more than 40. So, all right, we'll get into that game later.
Saturday kicks off at noon, and it's big time. First, Air Force and Navy face off in Annapolis. Then it's big time at the Rose Bowl when UCLA hosts Penn State.
Okay. One question for each game. Denver's at Philadelphia. Rank the Philadelphia wide receivers versus the Denver running backs.
Brown's still at the top for me, but it's close between him and Dobbins. I'd give the lean to Dobbins in non-PPR. Devontae Smith is behind those guys, and RJ Harvey is significantly behind those three.
Dobbins 1, Brown 2, Smith 3, Harvey 4.
One more time. Smith. Okay. Dobbins.
The only difference
Dobbins,
is Jimmy's
Eagles
got
receivers,
Dobbins
Harvey.
over AJ in full PPR.
Okay. Tampa Bay is at Seattle. What are your thoughts on the Bucs running backs? We're assuming Bucky Irving is out. The Seahawks have not allowed a running back carry, longer than 13 yards this year. They have a great run defense. Jamey, what are your thoughts on the Bucs running backs?
They have a great run defense, and as I told you yesterday, they're one of 3 teams yet to allow a rushing touchdown to a running back.
Mm-hmm.
However, they are number 1 in most receptions allowed to running backs and number 1 in most receiving yards allowed to running backs. And so here comes Rachaad White coming off a 4-catch game, a guy that has 50 catches in every year of his career, and somebody who I think will have a lot of opportunities to make plays in the passing game. So I think White is a number 2 running back in PPR, a little bit lower in non-PPR. Maybe he'll be the first one, or Sean Tucker will be the first one to fall into the end zone against them running the ball. But from a passing downs perspective, I think we can see 5+ catches for Rachaad White. And his track record, for the most part, when he gets a lot of work, has been very good. But will he get a lot of work in this game because of Tucker and maybe what the score could be if they're playing from behind? I do think that would favor him, but we'll see how this goes for Tampa Bay. But if there is no Bucky Irving, I think Rachaad White again. I would play him over Michael Carter. I'd play him behind Rico Dowdle of the backup guys this week.
I feel the exact same way. The only thing I'd want to point out is who the Seahawks have played, running backs that have caught well against them.
McCaffrey and Jaylen Warren, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Warren, that's the game he had like a monster. Oh, maybe it's not the game that he had a monster play in. No, it is. Remember that big catch and run that Jaylen Warren had? That was against Seattle in week 2, was it not?
Yep.
Okay.
So they're vulnerable there. I think you're counting on volume and targets for Rachaad White. Jamey summed it up very well.
Giants are at the Saints. Rank the wide receivers in this game. I'll tell you, the Giants give up the second most fantasy points to wide receivers, partially because they for some reason just see so many pass attempts. But rank the wide receivers in the Giants Saints game.
Malik Neighbors with a torn ACL. Olave 1. Olave 1. Slayton 2. Wandale 3. Shaheed 4.
I will take Wandale over Slayton if it's full PPR. Otherwise, I agree with the order.
I'm so sick of Wandale.
Me too.
This is not the first year that we've bought into a decent stretch from Wandale Robinson. He's just not that good. Can't make any contested catches. For what it's worth, and I don't think it's worth much, the Saints are giving up the second fewest receiving yards to slot receivers. It's one of the stats as I've been kind of, I don't know if I'd call that an advanced stat, but something that I never used to have access to. One of the stats that I have found the least reliable is yards to slot receivers, but so far they've been good there. But I'm just like, what upside does Wandale have? I mean, I guess he could catch a touchdown. He got an end zone target last week. All right.
Both Giants receivers are very dicey plays for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Miami's at Carolina. How do you rank Tedero McMillan, Jaylen Waddle, or I guess Rico Dowdle now? And I was originally going to ask Carolina running back, but now it's Dowdle. So McMillan, Waddle, Dowdle.
Waddle, McMillan, Dowdle.
I have it the same way.
Jaylen Waddle scored, I think, 28 fantasy points in the only game he's played without Tyreek Hill over the last 3 years. Something crazy. Houston at Baltimore. But I have some concerns about that, by the way. But Houston at Baltimore. Is Woody Marks a must start?
Yep.
How does he compare to the replacement running backs?
Ahead of them all.
Wow.
Agreed.
No. Really?
It's close with Rico, but ahead of them all.
Okay, I'll take Dowdle over Woody Marks. You just get this. Are you afraid That's going to be like, oh, come on. Really? They're still using Nick Chubb for 12, 13 carries? That's
I mean, I think that's fair. But so when, again, the story that I'm writing, just about a third of the way into it, it's matchup plus opportunity for Dowdle is fantastic. Except there's one guy, I didn't really include Marks in the story, but there's one guy who's got a better matchup, and that's Woody Marks. There's certainly the potential of Nick Chubb. And I will say this, you could potentially start Nick Chubb this week. So you're desperate, and I know I looked at one league, Nick Chubb was dropped. I get it. He's been terrible and now maybe getting, replaced, but he still had 15 total touches last week, 13 carries, 2 catches. And they could just decide they're going to use both of these guys to just run through this paper defense that is so beat up.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if Nick Chubb still has a good game, but I can't imagine Woody Marks not being a significant part of this and doing as much damage, if not better, not necessarily from a fantasy point wise, but from a touch standpoint, I guess, than he did last week against Tennessee. So there's just so much of a perfect scenario for him that I like him slightly better than Rico Dowdle.
Okay.
I have seen Woody Marks take over Dario Gumbawali's role as the third down back each of the last 2 weeks. It wasn't just last week. And then in week 4, Marks played almost 65% of the snaps in the second half. So this coaching staff realized pretty quickly, if we want to run the ball and start doing some good things, we need to get the kid on the field. And I expect that to continue. It wouldn't surprise me if Chubb starts. It wouldn't surprise me if Chubb got, how many carries you'd say, 12 or 13 carries?
He had 13 last week and 2 catches.
Yeah, that would not, 2 catches would surprise me, but the 13 carries would not surprise me in this game. And I still think Woody Marks will be better in full PPR by a mile.
Okay. Tennessee's at Arizona. Do you love anyone in this game other than Trey McBride?
Kyler.
Man, I hope so. I hope so. I hope he's good, but every time we trust him, he kind of leaves us hanging a little bit.
Yeah,
No,
this is
I don't
one of the
love
guys-
anybody in this game other than McBride.
Most of the research we do is a week-to-week thing, right? Just trying to figure out how to approach a guy for 1 week. I took a look at Kyler Murray on the whole for the season, and maybe I'll just tease it. It's the last game we're going to talk about, but I'll just say this. Right now, he is the number 21 quarterback per game. It's a little deceiving because basically everyone is, the Carson Wentz's of the world, the guys who have made 2 starts or whatever, they're in that mix too. But his yards per attempt is a career low 5.7. It's horrible. So you expect regression there. He is running more than last year. He is throwing more than last year. These are great things, but he is still missing one key element that used to make him a must start. And that is deep ball completions, explosive plays. He just doesn't get them anymore.
He's got some bad drops too.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm just starting to wonder, when are we just going to drop Kyler Murray? Are we just, he's not far from being a streamer, I think, but not yet. Not yet. Because again, he's throwing more and passing more than ever. Well, you say not this week, but like the Titans have such a bad run defense that teams don't really throw on them that much.
Yeah, but you're now talking about, look, I hope Michael Carter or Amari DiMercato, for everybody that's picking him up, is going to get some reward for this because the matchup is fantastic. But you are talking about a mobile quarterback. You're talking about a scenario where there is a get right situation here.
Yeah.
And so it should have a good, good game versus great game. That's certainly debatable. Is he going to get you the 22 points that he's had in 2 of his good games, or is he going to get you north of 25? Which is what I believe Sportsline has him projected for. Like, they have him as a top 3 quarterback for this week. So there's a tremendous scenario here for him to go beat up this defense, which I think, like you said, a lot of the reason why this is, we fall into this every year with teams like this, where their run defense is so bad, it sort of masks how bad their pass defense is, that if teams wanted to throw on them, they could. So you have backup running backs here. You have a mobile quarterback who, like you said, is throwing more and running more. Like, he could easily, not necessarily 55 passes away like Bryce Young into a good game. He could have a 25 pass attempt game, get multiple touchdowns, and still give you his 35 to 40 rushing yards and be a very good fantasy quarterback.
This is a get right spot.
Yes. I guess it just
That's
has
exactly what it is. And by the way, I should have included Marvin Harrison as a player I love because I have him as a top 20 receiver.
Yeah, me too.
There's 4 teams on bye. Everybody could see Marvin Harrison laying an egg again, but
Right.
I can't help it. There just aren't enough receivers, given injuries to quarterbacks, receivers, etc., where I can look at Marvin Harrison and say, I'd rather start somebody else. I don't think we're in that spot.